that kind of exhibit these behaviors. So that's overt. The covert are really scary because
Yeah,
they're,
not gonna lie.
huh? You covert are very
Not gonna
difficult.
lie.
Yeah, covert though are very difficult to spot. And I'll say a lot of these coverts are running a lot of our Muslim organizations. It's kind of scary. They come into these, positions of leadership. And so covert are wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay. And I've seen both of these. I have many examples, subhanAllah. Uh, this is what kind of drew me is, well, we'll talk about that. But um, okay, so they come off as very shy, very they'll be self efficating, like they'll be like, oh, I'm not nothing. I'm very act very humble. Oh, I'm nobody. I'm nothing. Whatever. And then they're also kind of fishing for compliments from you, like, no, oh my God, you're so amazing. They're expert liars and manipulators. They appear to be very loving and giving and altruistic and very loyal. They're very kind in public, but in private, they're deeply selfish and entitled. They will sometimes exaggerate suffering and sickness to get some sympathy from others. They have delusions of being victims and being persecuted by people around them. They seek out both types. They both seek out caretaker type personalities to exploit them. So codependents and empaths are definite targets of narcissists. Um, they're both very hypersensitive to perceived criticism. If you try to give them any type of constructive criticism, even a jokingly, they will be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that to me!" Like, "Oh, I'm such a loser," wow. And you're like, "No, I was joking. Like, what are you talking about? It was no, I didn't mean to hurt you." Like, you'll kind of be like, "Wow, that was a really strong reaction to something,
Like
simple."
walking on eggshells and
Yeah, you should always be
walking on
praising
eggshells all the
them.
time.
Always be praising them. You can never joke with them. You can't, insult them at all, um, or criticize them at all. They use a lot of passive aggressive manipulation tactics. They'll cry on cue, and manipulate through self-pitying performances. There was a brother who I know of, and he would cry all the time. Like, I've never even met a woman who cries this much, and I was like, oh, maybe this person's just a very sensitive person. But later, after some time, I came to see that they were a covert narcissist, and this was, one of their manipulation tactics. Right? They stage a crisis to gain attention. They will blame all of their problems and failures on unfair people, institutions, circumstances, and they emotionally drain their partner and their family. Um, they are emotional manipulators. And so what I've seen is a lot of times, these narcissists have what's called a comorbidity. What a comorbidity is when you have multiple uh, mental illnesses co-concurrent, right? So I'll see a narcissist, have depression, anxiety. They might have bipolar disorder. They might have substance use disorders, addictions, eating disorders. And it can co-occur with other cluster B personality disorders, such as borderline personality disorder, paranoid personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder. Um, so you might think, oh, the person's depressed, or they have anger issues, and mind you, depression in women, in both, but usually in men, depression can present itself as anger. Um, so men tend to externalize their emotions. Women tend to internalize, their emotions, and for women, it kind of presents itself as they develop illnesses and whatnot because they're internalizing. But men tend to externalize their anger, frustration, their sadness, whatever, as in this way. And so so when we talk about, narcissism in families, what you see is one parent, and I've seen this as well. I have seen a narcissistic family, in close proximity. So I have a lot of experience with this. So one parent who's not, and it can be the male or the female. I've seen it where the female is the narcissistic parent. Okay. And that narcissistic parent is very controlling. They're very emotionally and maybe even physically abusive and manipulative. um, they will emotionally be neglectful. They tend to enmesh with their children. See, narcissists see children as an extension of themselves. They do not see their children as individuals with their own thoughts and feelings. No, they are an extension of themselves. The narcissistic parent is very emotionally unstable. They can be very demanding, delusional. They put their own needs ahead of the needs of their children, and the spouse typically ends up becoming a codependent. So a codependent person is someone who um, is an enabler, as I mentioned before. They're very compliant. They clean up the drama and the messes that the narcissist creates. um, they are also avoiding attack from the narcissist, and they're seeking rewards such as affection, praise, money, whatever. And they are trauma bonded to their narcissistic partner, and they have that chemical addiction of intermittent love and abuse cycles with that partner. And they spend a lot of their own emotional resources trying to please that narcissistic partner, and they in turn might inadvertently emotionally neglect their children as well. So now the children are emotionally neglected not only by the narcissistic parent, but even the codependent parent, the one who's supposed to be healthy and stable.